Hey guys, me again. This is Kathy, and we're doing another paint tutorial on my animal eyeglass holders. And today we're doing a Husky. So I've got him kind of set up so you can see how he would appear. I did a white base coat on him because he's a lot of white and gray with a little bit of black tips. And I'll put his little nose on a piece of tape. And I'm going to do these are the three pieces that spatial pieces that the eyeglasses sit on. I'll deal with those later when I glue them on. I don't have to paint any of that. And his face, I'll wait and paint towards the end, or at the end, because I like doing that last. So we'll do the body first. I did do a base coat, of course, on the front of the legs, because that'll be covered up, and on the back of his body. And I didn't make it, I didn't do it severe white. You know, there is a little bit of wood showing through, but that's because he's not a bright white dog. And so let's start on his body. Pulled up on Google Siberian Huskies, and so I could get a look at the coloring and see how they look, and kind of make my own thing. There you go, doggy. And my 4 favorite brushes. I'm going to, let's see, the white gets covered up, or this part gets covered up to just below the slat, because the slat doesn't get seen. But his legs are fairly a whitish color going down, so I'm going to leave those. I'm not going to do anything with that. But on the front, his ears will be seen through these holes, and he's kind of got a pinkish, whitish, brown, almost a, and I'm going to put a little tan on here. I don't have that before, but I have a touch of pink here. And you see, I just used the mess out of my paint thing, and I clean it once in a while. But so we're gonna throw some white in there. I didn't think about this when I was doing the base coat. I could have done the base coat white on his ears, but that's okay. I'm just gonna throw some white in there, and what's gonna shine through. And he's gonna have, you can see some pink. And it's funny because you really don't see a lot of the pink until you spray the clear coat on it. That kind of helps bring it out. But a little bit of pink. And then I'm going to come back with a little bit of this beige color, because it's not real pink. And just kind of throw that in there. So it doesn't look like the Easter Bunny. And there we go. A little pink, and you know, sometimes I just make sure that that's going to get in there. I think a little bit more of that beige color. And you know, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I keep saying that. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Okay, so I'm done with the front side of the body. That's the way I'm going to leave it. Now his back and his back legs. Let's see, like one side of his back legs, like the underside, would be white. So I'm going to leave one side of it white. The back side of his body is going to have more of that black and gray. See, I put some silver in here too to kind of blend it all. But we've got the white going on, and I'm going to come back with a dry brush. And I'm going to put, he kind of has a edge around his leg. I don't know how well that'll go here on the flat, not three-dimensional part. But I'm just going to come back with some, I really think I want to do some black and white together. Just to get some gray going on in here. And I'm not mixing them, I'm just kind of putting them on here, and I just want to brush it like fur. That's some more black. Apparently, let's see, black and white. If I can get it, I use the smallest amount of paint. I'm not even going all the way down on the leg, but I got some black on there, and I'm going to put some white. And when it's wet, it's going to blend. When the paint's dry, it's not going to blend. And that's okay. That's what you want it to do. You want some that blends so you get the mixed color fur, and then some you get that white and black that stand out. So and I have noticed I got just a little bit of silver, because I think he just shines with a little bit of silver in him and gives it that depth in his fur. I think his butt part, and it can be whatever you want it to be. You know what, you can make this dog red and blue if you want to, but I have a thing for realistic, and I probably will come back with some after it dries, some more white and black strokes. But I'm going to do the same thing on the back. His tail is kind of white underneath, and his belly is white, but it's got some black streaks. Oh, that has a lot of black on it. Okay, but his back has a lot of black here, and then down into his tail, and you can see there the strokes start. So a lot of black, and then I'm just going to blend it in, and it's kind of the dry brush is giving me that fur look. And he has a weird kind of pattern where some of his wrinkles are there. And we do tap 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 just to get that little bit of paint on here. You start up where your most color is going to be, and then start pulling out, and then lighten up your brush as you're doing it. It looks like he has a little bit of a line there, but it's okay. That's just the way the nature of this dog is. I really kind of like that. I'm going to come back with some white when that dries. I'm going to do a little bit more detail on this guy, on his back, or his buttocks, whatever, his rump. And I want just the smallest amount of paint on here, just to give it the black color. And see, I got a blotch there because I had too much paint on it, but that's okay. You know why? It's not perfect. It's a dog, it's an animal. We're gonna come back with a little white, go over top of it. Look at there, he's good. All right, his backside is good. I don't even know that I'm gonna come in with white on that. I think I'm gonna leave it just like that and do the same thing on the other side. Now, let me come in with this one and get the black over here. Oh wait, I said the underside I'm gonna leave white. Ha. So let's get the black over here, and I kind of did it across the back and down the tail. So I'm gonna get a little bit paint on the brush, and then my more color where I'm gonna start across the back, start pulling out, and then down this tail. And a little bit more on. And so you can see the white through there. Get this wispy. You really got some black here on the top of his back. There we go. And I kind of want to have to keep, oop, I got a lot there. Kind of keep checking back to see what I've done on the other side, because, you know, like I said, it's not going to be, you're not going to see both sides at the same time. It's not going to be symmetrical. but you want it to be similar. So, I don't know why I don't feel like it's getting as black on here on this side. But anyway, there we go. I'm kind of okay with that. I think he's got more of a white tip there. So, okay. So his body is done there and there. Well, I say his body's done. That part's not done. The legs and the back and the tail done. His backside, like I said, he has a lot of black on his back, and I think that comes down from his ears are black, and then goes into more of the mixed fur. So let's blacken his ears and get good solid black color on there. Some more up on this one. Sorry, I don't know how to talk consistently. Constantly, maybe that's the word. Constantly. And make this an entertaining video for you. If my daughter were here, we could joke and laugh. She's in school. All right, so now I'm going to start. Well, I really think there's more black coming down here. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit more, like it would be coming down his back. Okay, now you need less paint and blot it, and start getting that fur look. And you kind of want it to blend out so it's not so stark of a from one to the other. But just get these nice brush strokes, and you see I go pretty fast with the brush strokes. There's nothing that's exact or specific or detailed, but I'm just going to come back here, and I think the back of his legs also are fairly white, or the inside part of his legs, if that makes sense. So I'm going to bring it down, not even all the way, maybe down the edge a little bit like that. There, into there. I play music when I work and paint, but I'm afraid on YouTube I'll get in trouble with music, so sorry, dead space here. If somebody knows different, hey, tell me what I can play, and I'll be playing music. And the edges here, and get well, I can't seem to get enough paint on here. There we go. And I got too much. But anyway, that's him. That's the back. All right, body done. Check. Now we get to work on his face. I got black on my brush, so I'm going to go ahead and do his nose. And this Husky, I'm going to do the two color eyes. And his nose, I'm not going to do a full black on it. Like, I'm going to put some black here on the edges, but this one's got more coloration, more pigment, I guess, up around his face. So I'm going to do a little bit of this beige color in here on his nose. So I'm going to do a black beige blend, maybe even a little pink to show up. And you'll notice I will use the same brush and not clean it and just get full dimension on colors. But a little bit of pink, and get that black in there. And, you know, give it a little bit of texture. Just do some little stippling up there. All right. Hey, nose done. Check. Now, for the face. Now you have to work with these two together. Where it's going to be is going to be up here a little bit, kind of in the middle. The center. He's going to be, he's a big old fat face husky. Beautiful, but he's got a big white face, and up around, which is, since I have the black, which I probably need to come back with that, but I'm going to do some black around the edges of his ears. Because they're just pretty black, which you see on the back side, I had them pretty black around the edges. And I'm just going to do it around across the top of his head a little bit. And over here to this other ear. Just got the edges are pretty true black. Some fur brush strokes in here. All right, there we go. Around the edges, and it almost looks like he's got a little bit of a triangle up here. And with that dry brush, as you know, have the rest of your brush on there, it's a good time to do it. Now this part here, which he's kind of got a little white and then a little gray, but he's got, you know, black strokes that come from here and go back. I'm still working with the dry brush, dry black blush. It's not blush, it's black, and I need to tap, make sure that it doesn't get too dark, but he's got some around the edges there. You know, and hey, I got this little line here. I think I'm going to just go around the edges with some black. And not dark black, just little, you know, fur marks. And come back up here with the dry brush at that line, because he's got this mixed fur up here at the top. And you just want that dry brush so it looks like fur, and the textures or the fur colors are mixed in here. And I might even come back with some white after it's dry to put some white in there. Yeah, I got kind of dark, but that's okay. You know what? I think it might get a little darker as it goes back there. And balance this side up a little bit. That looked pretty good, actually. If I can get it on getting the right amount on the brush is probably the kicker there. All right, and you want to brush it quick. Here we go. And do some more back here as it blends into the back of his head. A little dimension there. Got that line. All right, and then here, which you're going to have the fur actually coming out from his ears, and this is great to use the dry brush on now, because you just want it slightly gray, but you want it white also. So I'm not running out too much. I'm going to try to get it. Yeah, I like that. Okay, nice. Yes, I'm really, there we go. I'm good. His eyebrows are really white, and then he kind of has some, his muzzle is white, and down at the bottom it's more black. So I'm just going to do some, as it gets up into his nose, some of that spotting, that stippling, and I'll probably come back with some white strokes to put over top of that, because he's pretty white on his muzzle, but around his nose, I need to get under his nose to figure out where I'm going to put his nose. It's close to his lip, but I definitely want some black underneath there. So let me get my smallest brush, figure out where the black is. Paint it inside there. I'll really get in here so I can see. All right. Now I'm holding this down while I'm doing this one. And just let the brush brush the inside of the nose. It's okay. If it gets on anything else in there, it's okay. And just bring it out to the edge of the nose. All right, so when you go to glue it, hopefully I'm not getting in the way. When you go to glue it, you're going to know exactly where to put that nose, that little stinking nose. All right, in the meantime, keep it on there. All right, so that's his little nozzle there. Where's my dish brush? I'm going to put some tiny little if I can get it on here, tiny little white fur that you can barely see, but sometimes it's the details that that make the difference on it. And he's got some little white fur coming off his chin there. All right, so that, and I am going to put, because he is kind of a bright white here on his muzzle too, I keep doing that. So I'm going to come back in with the white. That one down a minute so I don't hit something else. Come back in with the white color to make it bright up there, and then I can just put some fur strokes, and they're going to kind of go down this nose a little bit. See, the different color white that's in the bottle from the spray is just going to give you a little dimension with the colors. So there we go. All right, so I'm good with that. I want to get some white coming up around his eyebrows, pretty white. And I want it to look like fur, so I'm going to bring it up over a little bit. And get enough, but not too much. Paint on here. Brush it up over. Get the tiniest bit of paint on your brush to brush it over to give that fur look. All right. I also want it to be the white to come up. It's starting to dry up on me. To come up over this part a little bit. So we're going to put just some fur strokes like that. So tiny little bit of white. Tap, tap, tap. give us some fur strokes. It's going over top of, and see that too, why I didn't want to do that. Was too much. I didn't want to do too much white on the spray because I wanted to be able to come back with his fluffy fur and see it from the brush. And I'm just doing it from the center out. And down. A little snow dog. Ah, too much. Okay. What is that? What is that? Okay. And just keep pulling it out, because the muzzle's going to go in there somewhere, but you want it all to kind of to blend. So he's got, I'll come back and get some more really white up here, because that's the way he is. He gets, seems like he gets whiter there, and just want that little bit of fur look out everywhere else. And I'll place them a little bit to see where it's falling, and I'm kind of okay with that. Kind of okay with that there. I'm gonna get some detail on the, because like I said, it'll really pop out when we do the clear coat on it. So let's get some detail on the eyes, around the eyes. Clean my brushes, sorry. And dry them. Try to clean them. Rub, 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 rub. And the tiniest round brush, because that's the one I work with his eyes. And we're gonna do the two different color eyes. It almost looks like he has some white eyelashes, so he's got a lot of color in his eyes. They're really black. He also has some color. I need to do that. I'm gonna add just a little bit of black fur color around his eyes. Just some, just a little bit of, nothing has to be exact. It looks like he's got a little bit of coloring that comes out of his eyes, or from around his eyes. And see, that dry brush, you can do, and maybe even just a little out. Okay, that's good. Sorry, I typically go back and mess and do and mess and do. Okay, and I think he really has, we're going to give him dark pupils. Got a lot of paint on this little brush, so spread it out. We'll give him the dark pupils on both his eyes. that little center round part shiny. And then he's got this really dark around his eyes, or around his iris. I probably need a new small brush because this one's getting misshaped around the edge. But I'm trying to just get in there. Just little tiny spots. Okay, and a little black. And get this one. Insides of his eyes. Their eyes are beautiful, and you would just want to come in and try to do it justice for the real little creatures. Well, get on there. I know my paint's getting a little dry, so I'm getting a little skin on it. Okay, get in there and there we go. Get that dark in there around it. All right, and then one eye is going to be brown and one eye is going to be blue. So I've got a little bit of that blue there with some white, and then I need some brown. Gosh knows it's got a little bit of that red in it. I'm gonna do a little spot of this chocolate brown and probably black with it to give it some dimension and some golden color. So let's do the brown over here. And then we'll start with some of the golden color and just do some lines. And then we'll come back with the brown. I don't want too much of it. With the brown. And let it do its little blending, speckling itself with whatever the brush does. So both colors are there, you can see them. I might have to come with a little bit of black over the pupil, but you know, you've got both colors shining through there, and you know, I'm kind of okay with that, leaving it just like that. Go back over my pupil so it doesn't look like he has fur on his eyes. That is very sharp, glossy, distinct right there. I might even put just slight, if I can get just a little bit on the brush, lines I can get on the brush. Tiny little bit of black lines in his eyes, strokes out. But then you need to do the same thing. You need to bring in some of the other colors, so you don't just really just have black lines. All right, so there we go. I'm okay with that. And then the blue, do the other one blue. And since it already has the white base around it, it's really gonna pop, but it's really light, and the pupil almost looks like it has some, and I'm gonna put some dark blue right around the edge of the pupil because it almost looks like it's glowing blue on its pupil too. But and get this light blue in here. Light blue and white is what I'm gonna what I'm going to go after here. I'm going to put them both on here together. And get it in here around, if I can get enough on the brush. To cover it, and I'll come back with the white to do a little mix, but this dark blue around the edge, I want it to mix with the light blue a little bit. And I'll come back and do it on the pupil again, because it's there. Okay, and it almost looks like, I'll come in with the white. I don't want too much, but put those lines in. And I'm going to do a little mix because it looks sort of like around the edges it gets really light, really white. But I still want it to look blue, so there's lots of little blending right here at the edge. Okay. Let's see if I can get this white on here. I want to get a little bit of the lines coming from the pupil so they stand out. And the blue's really light. All right, there we go. Now let me come back with that dark blue, deep blue around the edge of the pupil, so there's no white on the pupil. And then I'm going to put a little bit of black in the center of it. And do that blend. There we go. Nice. All right, so still need to do the highlights. We'll give him a little highlight on his nose. Across the, maybe there. You can see it. And then again, we want this a really small dot. I like dots. You can do squares. Sometimes they're squares because they're square windows, and that's what you see. But I just get a little white dot, and we're going to hit the reflection here and here on this one. And it's amazing. All right, there we go. Let's just do a little piece together. Let's see, did I forget anything? This little nose is going to go right there. Yep, there. And there's my Husky.